Here we have Glenn from Quantum Pop, and we wanted to get a few thoughts about the casting of Batman. Glenn, what do you think of Ben Affleck?
Who?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. Is he the one that works with Matt Damon?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Did.
I know who Ben Affleck is.
I know.
I'm trying not to think about Ben Affleck. I'm sorry.
Why is that? Why are you joking like that? A lot of people are saying that.
It's they always it's like when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman. A lot of people went, Michael Keaton, what? And I was a little like that too, but I was also more in the camp of he's an actor. Let's see if he pulls it off, and he did. I mean, sure he was short and stuff, but he convinced you that he could be Batman. I heard about it, and Kevin Smith did a reveal on one of his blog things. I heard that, and he's all into it. But of course, he's a friend of them. A friend of his, of them. See, of them. To me, it's always Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and I already did the Affleck, because that always reminds me of that. But and it's hard for me because of the two actors. Matt Damon, personal opinion, Matt Damon is the better actor. I mean, he's like a real actor, an actor's actor, kind of an actor. And he's proven himself doing action stuff with the Bourne Identity things. So watching his movies, you can go, I could see him as Batman, the physicality of it and everything. Yeah. Okay, Ben Affleck, looking at his previous stuff. Well, let me...
Okay, let's get down to this. Daredevil.
Daredevil!
Right.
I mean, there he is with a cowl. I mean, Daredevil is Marvel's Batman, basically. And he looks great in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
He has a heroic figure. And I think it's an underrated movie in a lot of ways. I think he pulled off Daredevil. I could see him as Matt Murdock and everything. I thought he did a good job. However, the movie wasn't that great. Didn't care for some of the Kingpin stuff and things like that. And I know that almost universally amongst fans, they hated it. I didn't hate it. It's one of those damned with faint praise kind of a thing. But it's a movie where I'll watch if it's on. But watching him do Daredevil, I try to think of it as Batman, and I'm not quite sure. But again, I'm the sort of person, I have a bit of a theatrical background, and I've seen actors do all kinds of things that you might not think they could do. And, he seems to love comics, and I know he'll have respect for the character, and it's not a casting choice that would make me, get online and flame him or anything. It's give the guy a chance. Wouldn't have been my choice, but I'm not making the choice. So,
if you did have a choice, do you have a choice, like a preference of who you think would be better in that role?
Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean,
so
if you had to pick somebody new, no, I just wondering if you had one.
Wow.
If you'd rather see somebody, but if you don't, then
yeah,
you don't have. You don't.
Probably not. Of the new kids on the block, I can't even. I keep going back to old classic actors. It's like Cary Grant. No, can't do that. But no, I can't think of anybody. Of course, maybe that's a prejudice on my part. So many of these new actors, new upcoming actors and stuff, they're just too GQ for me. I mean, they all look like models off of magazine covers. They don't look like character actors. It pulls you out of the movie because you're going, I don't think that his parents died in front of him when he was a kid and that he's got all this trauma going on and everything. He just looks like a guy who's really had a successful career, and he's doing well, and he got to do Batman, I don't know. So, that's one of those things. It's, and he's up against the new Superman, who I think is younger than him. And I don't know if they're going to go for an older guy. Maybe they'll make that part of the movie where he's he's had to work his way up, and he's a human being who's had to train himself to physical and mental perfection, and he's been working in the shadows and stuff, and you know, he knows more about the criminal mind and more about being a detective and things like that. And if they play him as older, you know, if it's like, okay, he's been in this business of crime fighting, you know, Clark Kent Superman, new, you know, just appeared, you know, everybody's wondering, like, this guy with all these powers, you know, what's he gonna do? Whereas Batman's been in the shadows, a lot of people probably still don't even know that he exists. The two of them come together, it could wind up being a mentoring sort of a thing, where Superman, despite all his powers, needs Batman's experience and knowledge to help him learn how to be a hero. You know, wow, I just came up with a good idea for a script.
That's an interesting twist.
Yeah, Time Warner, are you out there? You know, this is what they need.
I'm sorry, Glenn. We need more explosions.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that would take too much characterization. We got to have room for explosions. Yeah, that's something I've been worried about. Is explosions. Is God, it just seems like we're raising a generation of kids who all they care about is how many explosions there are in a movie, and were they bigger than the last movie they watched. And if they do with the Batman Superman what they did with Man of Steel, you know, first half, you know, they kind of build up to it, but then the long last part of the movie is just way too many explosions and crashing. I hope if they show Metropolis in the new movie, they show it as devastated. They show it looking like a war zone, because that is what it would look like after what happened in Man of Steel. I hope they don't just gloss over that and go, 3 years later, the city's been completely rebuilt. I guess if they had Superman helping them, you know, he can move pretty fast, but still, you know,
Yeah.
Come on. That town should be, you know, it's been bombed to death, you know. So maybe the new movie will be set in Gotham, you know.
Right.
So, need to wrap it up?
Yeah, please.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for asking the question, because you know, brought out some things that I hadn't even thought of.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.